Hi everybody and welcome to my YouTube channel. I am so happy to have you. My name is Tamara and I talk about crime stories that took place right here in the Caribbean. So if that's what you're into, then you know what I'm gonna say. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Hit that notification bell so you will not miss when I upload new videos. For those of you who've been here before, welcome back. I'm always happy to have you. If you're new here and you've never been here before and it's your first time seeing my face, welcome. I just want to say thank you for all those who are watching. I know it's a small group of people, but I appreciate it anyways. I hope that more people would watch and you will share. And I have a new name for my channel and I think I'm going to stick with this one. This one is called Crimey Corner, because I have a lot of crimes. So now let us jump into this crimey story. It's about Stacy Wilson, a young lady from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, going straight back to my home. Let's get into it. Grab something to eat, something to drink. I'm drinking wine. You don't have to if you don't want to. Get some snacks, get comfortable, and let's jump right into this crime story. Stacy Wilson was described as a quiet, ordinary 21-year-old girl. She lived in the village of Vermont, a farming community, with her mother, Amelia Nanton, and they just lived there. They were a normal, happy family. Also living in that area is Sean Samuel, who also went by the name of Abdul Rahim Parsons, along with the label Muslim Isla Ma'am. But just for this video, because there's too much names, I'm just going to keep it simple. I'll just refer to him as Shorn. Sean and Stacy were distant cousins, and Sean would often visit their home. You know, family visit family in the Caribbean all the time. It's a thing. And nothing is wrong with that. Except Sean's visits took a different scary turn when he began throwing talks, as we would say, to his cousin who was 14 years younger than he was. So he would start telling her that he wanted her to be his wife and that he was so in love with her. Now, obviously, I think it would make anybody uncomfortable. Not only hearing it from some random stranger who you don't know, but hearing it from someone who you're related to. It's kind of weird. So, of course, Stacy was not in agreement with this and she felt totally uncomfortable now with Sean coming to their home and being around. Obviously, like I would think anyone would be, Stacy was very uncomfortable with Sean making those remarks to her. And so she asked Sean to stop visiting and to stop coming around and to also desist from making those remarks that she did not like it. She did not want him in that way. She did not like him in that way. She was not comfortable with him speaking to her in that way. She made herself very clear. And Sean, he apologized to Stacy for the things that he said to her, which were very inappropriate, and things were fine. He was still visiting the home and he didn't make any remarks of that nature towards Stacy during that period of time. However, not too long after that, Sean began making those remarks again. He went back into his whole old habits. He would tell her that he loves her and he wants her to be his better half. And no matter how Stacy demanded him to stop, no matter how she demanded for him to leave her alone, he just kept on molesting her, troubling her, harassing Stacy. So Amelia, Stacy's mom, she did what any mother would do, and she tried to protect her daughter and further extend the message to Sean that he was not welcome and that he was not wanted. So one morning while Stacy was getting ready for work and he was there molesting and throwing his remarks and making her very uncomfortable, Stacy's mom, Amelia, she threw Clorox at Sean's face, hoping that this would further extend the message that they did not want him around, he was not welcome at their home, and his remarks were very uncomfortable towards Stacy. Monday, December 11th began as a normal day for Stacy, and she got up, she got ready, she went to her job at the Milton Cato Hospital, where she worked there as a healthcare facility staff. While she was at work, Sean appeared and he demanded to talk to Stacy and was harassing her on her job. However, Stacy insisted that she did not want to talk to him and she just wanted to be left alone. Someone on the job, they observed what he was doing and asked Stacy if she was okay and asked him what he wanted, and he said he wanted to speak to his cousin Stacy and that they were related. Around 3:45 that day, Stacy left for work and she was destined for home. She went to the Leewood bus stop so that she could get a van to go to Vermont. Following her, of course, is Sean, and Stacy got in the van. He got in the van with Stacy. The van went to the Leewood bus stop, and it's customary that vans would wait around at the bus stops or the bus terminal for passengers to finish working and just wait around a couple minutes for them to come and meet them there so that they could get a van and go home. They would fill their vans with passengers. Stacy was in the van sitting and Sean was there harassing her, following her and just being a menace to Stacy. So she kept moving from seat to seat, trying to get away from Sean, telling him to leave her alone. She does not want to speak with him. She's not interested in what he has to say, but he was not having it. So she was moving from seat to seat, just trying to get peace from Sean. While he's harassing her, Stacy is thinking, okay, how am I going to get away from this man? So she went and she sat directly behind the driver of the van. Sean this time is standing by the conductor side of the van and continued to throw words at Stacy, harassing her, molesting her, being a menace. Could just imagine how Stacy felt just being bothered constantly by a man she had no interest in. Now, while he's harassing Stacy, a machete that he had concealed in his pocket fell out of his pocket. Stacy saw the weapon and he quickly picked it back up, put it back in his pocket and tried to hide it like nothing happened. Stacy, upon seeing this, she tried to leave the van. While she's trying to leave the van, Sean attacked Stacy, pulling her from the van and chopping her across the body with the machete. Stacy fled and she went under the van. She tried to get some safety from Sean, but Sean pulled her and yanked her from under the van and severed her right hand at the wrist. He began chopping constantly and he aimed for her neck and he decapitated Stacy in broad daylight, in front dozens of people. Witnesses who were there at the scene, they claim that Sean walked a few feet away from Stacy with her body part, you know what, in his hand, and he gave it a kiss before throwing it on the ground. And police arrived quickly at the scene, and Sean, he was not bothered at all. He saluted the crowd like he had just gave the performance of his life. He saluted the crowd, he knelt down, he put his hand behind his head, and he surrendered to the police. It was pandemonium. It was just a madness at the bus stop. Everybody was in shock. Everybody was trying to grapple with, wait, what just happened? Now I'm thinking, dozens of people at the crime scene, at this bus stop waiting for vans to go home, school children, dozens of different vans, conductors, drivers, passengers, everybody is there and witnessing what was happening. And I'm thinking, why nobody tried to help Stacy? What were they doing when she was screaming and running and being harassed by this man? Remember, this harassment started inside the van. Why nobody told him to leave her alone? Why nobody pushed him out the van, closed the door? Why didn't the conductor, the driver, try to protect Stacy from the harassment that she was receiving inside of the van, which then concluded with her being killed in broad daylight? I'm just like shocked that nobody did anything. Tried to take the machete away. Nobody tried to attack him, tried to pull him off. Everybody, I guess everybody was just in shock because it probably happened so fast. And yeah, they just stood there frozen, not knowing what to do. Sometimes that does happen. Now, the news of the murder, it spread like wildfire across the country. And St. Vincent is a very small island compared to other Caribbean islands. So you could imagine how quickly this news spread and how fast everybody was like, huh? What just happened in St. Vincent in broad daylight? Everybody was just like shocked at what just happened in this small, tiny island. And it was so horrific that it even made international news. Now, it's not very often that news in St. Vincent reach international news. We're such a very small, tiny island. 1 week later, on December 19th, friends and family of Stacy Wilson gathered at the Seventh-day Adventist Church in Vermont, and they went there to show their support and to pay their last respect to a young girl that was so beautiful, so calm, so normal, had so much ambition, had a life ahead of her, and it was just snuck out from under her in the most brutal, aggressive, horrific way anybody could think of. She did not deserve to die like that. And for what? And then I'm asking myself, why would Shorn do this? Why would he attack Stacy? Why would he just attack her in such a brutal way, in such a brutal, horrific, gruesome, terrifying way? The most evil way imaginable. Why would he do that to her? And I'm thinking, that's not normal. That's not a normal person behavior. And remember, Stacy is his relative. They're cousins. They're family. So why would he feel that way towards her? Why would he do that to her? Especially in broad daylight. And I can only come to one conclusion, which you probably would think of as well. The only conclusion I can think of is this man probably was mentally insane. And that was the debate in court. The debate was whether or not Shorn was mentally insane and had a psychotic break that caused him to attack Stacy, or was he sane and was fully aware and responsible for his actions that he committed that day. The trial revealed that Shorn had a very, very long history of mental illness. And a doctor testified that Shorn began smoking marijuana at the age of 10, and that at the age of 25, he suffered a psychotic break, which made him very delusional, and he was admitted to the mental facility. But on the other hand, other reports indicated that Shorn was not mentally insane and he was not having a psychotic break when he attacked Stacy. I don't know of any other reason why he would commit this crime other than he had to be mentally ill. But the judge sided with the fact that he was not mentally ill, and the judge had no doubt in his mind. He said that the crime was obviously premeditated. And so he stated that this is the most heinous, barbaric, and brutal crime in the history of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And he handed down the death sentence to Shorn, further stating that the only appropriate punishment that could be imposed on Shorn was that of the death penalty. Hearing this in court, Shorn was outraged and he began yelling to the judge. He told the judge, "You're full of shit." I mean, that's only the action of a mentally insane person. And he attempted to throw things at the judge, take off his clothes and throw them at the judge. And while he was being restrained by police officers that were in the court to take him away, to take him out of the courtroom and to his prison cell, a fight broke out between Shorn and the police officers, where he ended up throwing blows and the officers ended up receiving blows from Shorn. While all this is going on and he's exiting the courtroom, he was met by an angry crowd of protesters who were out there shouting, and they were demanding for him to be killed. So Shorn was now sitting on death row, and during this time, his lawyers appealed his conviction. During this hearing, a psychiatrist from Trinidad and London agreed that Shorn was suffering from a mental disorder at the time he committed the crime. They also stated that this disorder resulted in an abnormality of the mind and therefore diminishing his responsibility of the offense. Consequently, his death sentence was reduced to manslaughter and he was given a life sentence instead of the death penalty. And to this day, Shorn is still in prison, which he will not be released from and most likely will die in prison, which I think is well deserved. Let me know what you think about this case. Do you think that Shorn was mentally insane? Do you think he was suffering from a mental break, a psychotic break, which caused him to attack and kill Stacy? Or do you think he was not mentally insane and he just committed the crime without reason? Do you think Shorn should have gotten the death penalty, or do you think that life in prison was sufficient enough for him? I hope that you found this story interesting and very crimey. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one. Bye.